Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about looping statement, especially for constructing the different patterns, how to create patterns and all. What are the rules and regulations which we need to follow? When I talk about a looping concept, then definitely we know that we have three kinds of loops. One is for statement, one is for loop, and second one is while, and the third one is do while. These are the looping statements which are there in C programming language. You know, when we use looping statements, we use looping statements whenever we wanted to execute a set of statements for n number of times. So coming to the looping concept, we use looping when we want to execute set of statements for n number of times. Then we use what? N number of times. We use looping concepts, looping statements. So coming to looping statements, we have for and we have while and we have do while. So when should I use while, for and do while? When I know the number of repetitions, then we go for. When I don't know the number of repetitions, then we go for while and do while. So quick on to this, let me try to have a syntax without wasting much of my time on talking about for, one, while and do while. I'll say for initialization, each and every variable need to be initialized first, then we have a condition. Then we have a modification. This is the syntax for working with what? For. This is how we deal with for statement. First is initialization, next is condition, and third one is modification, right? So we use this syntax for working with for, and as I said, we use for when I know the number of repetitions prior. Then we go for statement. Okay. Now, if I'm writing an syntax for while, if I write syntax for while, the syntax for while goes something like this. First is initialization. Then we have while condition. I'm separating all the three blocks. Then we have modification. Okay. Then we have modification. So initialization is the first statement to be executed. Then we have while condition. Then we have a modification. So this is how we deal with while statement. Sir, how to initialize, how to condition, and all we'll discuss in the further cases. Now, if I write for syntax for do while. Sir, how does what will be the syntax for do while? First, I'll do for initialization. Initialization is mandate in all the cases. First, we'll go for initialization. Sir, if I want to execute a set of statements for one time at least, then I go for do while. Okay. Then we have set of statements to be executed. Inside this set of statements to be executed, then we have a modification. After modifying the value, we'll check the condition. That is what while will have a condition. And when I'm talking about this, as if I'm talking about do while is also called as post-checking process. Sir, what do you mean by post-checking process? Post-checking process means first execute the set of statement at least for one time, then check the condition. So that we call it as post-checking. Post-checking means at least check the condition for one time and then check for whether the condition is true or false. So this is called as post-checking process. Coming to while is called as pre-checking process. Pre-checking means first check the condition. If the condition is true, then only enter into block. Otherwise, don't enter into block. Coming to for block. First is initialization, then is condition. If the condition is true, enter into block. If the condition is false, comes out of the while for block, right? In all the three cases, whether I'm working with for while or do while, in all the three cases, we have initialization, we have condition, and we have modification. Now the point comes, sir, is there any way to make to understand how we need to initialize a variable, how we need to construct this condition, and what will be the modification, whether it is plus or minus. What your suggestion? If I am constructing any loops, so as you said that loops are used to execute a set of statements for a number of times. So if the numbers which I am printing, if it is in incremental order, what I'm supposed to do, if it is in decremental order, what I'm supposed to do, we'll try to see in detail now. So this is what the three looping statements in C programming language, that is for while and do while. Coming to the looping concept, when I say looping concept, definitely you can say that these statements are used to execute set of statements for n number of times. And these are the looping statements, which is not only used in only C language, which is used in C++, which is used in Java, which is used everywhere. So these statements are very important. These looping statements are very important because whenever we try to execute set of statements for n number of times, then always we go for looping statements. Fine. Now come to the point. Sir, if I want to execute a number like this, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay, 10. So my point is the given numbers, whatever we have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it is an incremental order. So there are some certain conditions, certain points which you need to remember whenever the pattern is going in incremental order. If the pattern is going in incremental order, the first and foremost is my initialization, whatever I'm doing my initialization should be minimum. I'm talking about the initialization must be minimum. Point is, I'm not talking only about while, for, or do while. In all the three looping statements, if my pattern is going in incremental order, my initialization always must be minimum. And the second point, and as you know that second is condition must be maximum. Fine, condition must be maximum. And inside the condition, the relational operator used is less than or equals to. If my pattern is going in incremental order, my initialization must be minimum and the condition must be maximum. The relational operator used in between the condition must be always less than or equal to. Coming to the third point. Sir, how about the modification? My modification must be always plus plus or plus. It is only addition, nothing else. Sir, can I write on for so that I'll understand? I'll try to write for I is equals to 1, I less than or equal to 10, I plus plus, and declared I as an integer variable. So this is how we work with the looping statements. So this is must to know that whenever you are constructing loops, these rules are mandate for you to keep it in mind whenever you are constructing a loop. What is that? My initialization must be a minimum. This is what I'm talking about. This is we call it as an initialization. About this variable I'm talking, and this is your initialization, I is equals to 1. When I say I less than or equal to 10, that means 1 less than or equal to 10 is true or false. As the condition is true, it will enter into block. If the condition is true, it will enter into block. If the condition is false, it comes out of the for block. So when the condition is true, it will enter into block and print the value of I, return back to modification, I plus plus. Now I plus plus will becomes increment by 2. Now 2 less than or equal to 10 is true. So this is how it executes. Let us try to draw a diagram for you to understand how does it executing. So let us take a variable called as I. I is the initial value which we have. On the initial value of I initialize the variable value as I have given it as 1. Fine. So that is I is equals to 1. I have written one condition. What is that condition I have written? 1 less than or equals to 0. As the condition is true, it will enter into block for printing the value. Then after printing the value of condition, I say to go for I plus plus. When I say I plus plus, the meaning of I plus plus is modify the value of I by 1 so that now I will be 2 now. I will be 2 now. Yes or no? Then after executing this, sir, how does it is executing? After executing the set of statements, it is returning back to I plus plus. So after modifying the value of I to I plus plus, now it will return back to condition to check whether the condition is, whatever the condition you have written, that condition is true or false. As the condition is true again, it will enter into block. This is very important for you to know how my for block executes. Fine. First, I is equals to 1, initialization is executed. When the initialization is going to be executed, first and foremost, initialization will execute. When the initialization will execute, When the initialization will execute, once after initialization, it goes to condition to check whether the condition is true or false. 1 less than or equal to 10 is true, it will enter into block and print the value of I, that's what I is equals to 1 will be printed on the console for the first time. Now, then I plus plus, it goes to I plus plus, I modified by 2. And let me check it out whether 2 is less than or equal to 10 or not. When the 2 is less than or equal to 10, if the condition is true, 2 less than or equal to 10 as the condition is true, it will print the value of I on the console. By printing 2 on the console, it will print the value of I. Fine, yeah. Now, then it goes to third step called as what? I plus plus. As you know that it goes to I plus plus becomes 3. The previous value of I, which was 2, now it modified to 3. And this is how it changes it is going to be changed in the memory. That's what I is a variable, as it is integer type, 2 bytes of memory is allocated, initial value is 1. Now first time I is inside, now it is modified, that becomes 2, then again printed a value, again it is 3. Likewise, it goes with all the values. Let us try to do that. Hope you understood. 3 less than or equal to 10, which is true, enter into block. 4 less than or equal to 10 is true, which is enter into block. 5 less than or equal to 10, which is true. 6 less than or equal to 10, which is true, enter into block. 7 less than or equal to 10, which is true, enter into block. 8 less than or equal to 10, which is true, entered into block. 9 less than or equal to 10, which is true, entered into block. 10 less than or equal to 10 is true, entered into block. 11 less than or equal to 10, which is false. When it is false, it comes out of the for block. So that what numbers are printing? The numbers are printing from 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up to 10 that this for block will execute for printing the numbers from 1 to 10. Now, at the same time, it modifies the values on the register as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8, 9, and 10. Now, let us try to strike it off. This is 4, 5. 4 is done, 5 is done, 6 is done, 7 is done, 8 is done, 9 is done, 10 is done. When it reaches to 11, the condition is false. That's what I said. When the I value reaches to 11, condition is false. Whenever the condition is false, as all of you know that, from this, it comes out of the for block. For executing the rest of the statements, it will come. The same thing even with while and do while also. So I'm not talking about how this will be executed. My point is always talking about how it has to be done whenever we have a pattern which goes in incremental order. If the pattern is going in incremental order, your always initialization must be minimum. I took a minimum initialization. If the pattern is going in incremental order, my condition is always a maximum, so I have taken it as 10. If a pattern is going in incremental order, your relational operator must be always less than or less than equals to. If your pattern is going in incremental order, your modification must be plus, plus, or plus. In the further session, I am going to check it out. I am going to print 1, 1, 2 by using the nested loops 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll try to check it out how we can do these kind of patterns, right? How we can print these patterns by using the looping concept. Either I will work with for, I'll be doing the entire application by using for. Your task is to convert the same application by using while and do while. Okay. So we'll see in the next video how we can work with these set of operations to print this pattern, what you are supposed to do, whether it is incremental, decremental, and all. First, I'll print 1 to 10 on the console. I'll print 1 to 10 on the console. After that, we'll try to move on to we'll move on to pattern printing programs. Okay, we'll see in the next video.